Well, goodness me, I just realized, I have terrible problems with dates. So I scheduled it on October 4th on YouTube, but I told everyone I'd be going on live today on October the 2nd because Wednesday is the day that I had time free. So people who know me realize that I'm always confusing dates. So, hello and welcome to my channel. So my name is Von Tia Roos from Connect to Soul and the New Earth community. So if you haven't met me before, and if you haven't watched any of my videos before, well, please subscribe, like, share, and all the other things I think that that we do when we watch these videos. So yes, I did tell you that I was going to come back online regularly, and I do intend to do that. So the title of today's discussion is to bring our awareness back to the fact that this is a spiritual evolution. Because I do feel that so many people are still really, really connected and attached to the everyday thing as to, is the economy going to be better? Is we're finally going to get rid of these, controllers? Are we finally going to have some freedom? Are we all of that? When actually that is not the focus that will move it along. Because this spiritual evolution comes back to us, and for us, to really recognize who we are and how to then use that knowingness in a way that moves us into a whole different way of living. And, when I'm talking about this, because when I first started this journey in 1987, and I was told what was going to occur, and downloads that came, and I didn't know what they were. I was not in a good space, and all this knowledge kept entering into my cognitive awareness that all these things were going to happen, and there was a whole list of stuff. And I'm going, wow, this sounds amazing. But something that you might not know about me is that I'm an insatiable romantic. I need to have a happy ending. I just do not do life that doesn't have a happy ending. And the reason for that is probably because of my early childhood. So I won't watch a movie that doesn't have a happy ending. And look, not everything in my life has had happy endings, by the way. That is not how we grow. We have our challenges, and I've had plenty of those. But when I was given this mission of, that I had signed up to educate, inform, guide humanity to look within and to evolve spiritually, when I didn't even excuse me, I didn't even know what that meant at the time. But I thought it had to be better than what I was doing. So it was just such an interesting time. And now I look and I see it happening all around me. So one of the books that came to me at the time was Celestine Prophecy. Now that has just come to my awareness again by a beautiful man that I'm working with. And he just loved that book. And, that came to me in 1994. And I instantly saw that as a stairway to ascension. Remember that in those days, the word ascension, I had, that's common word these days, but in those days, that certainly wasn't something you knew what it meant. So because I was getting all these downloads and I was told what it meant, when I first read Celestine Prophecy, I went, here is the step-by-step way of doing a lot of that. So when this beautiful gentleman brought it up the other day, and I said, as soon as I got that book, I started teaching it. And for those of you who've been with me for a long time or have followed me for a long time, you probably have gone through all of those insights one at a time. and implemented them. And then, of course, there was the 10th and the 11th and the 12th inside. And, you might think, oh, yeah, been there, done that. But in fact, what's so wonderful about it is that everything that he wrote about, James Redford, what he wrote about is now actually in our face. So there was a line, there was a bit in the author's note, James's note, before you know we got to the book, and I thought I'd just share it with you because it's exactly what I wanted to address today. And it says here, for half a century now, a new consciousness has been entering the human world, a new awareness that can only be called transcendent and spiritual. When you think about it, we're certainly going through that. And then he says, it begins with a heightened perception of the way our lives move forward. The meaning of life has always been something that's been in the background. Why are we here? What are we doing? Because it all seems to be so tough. It's not an easy gig, this life. And so we go searching, and we've searched. And of course, if you've read this book, then the second insight is all about, explaining that question has always been something that every human has had inside them. And so many eons ago, it was then the churchmen decided, that was a great way to control people, right? By telling them that it was all God. God did everything. So people in those days, they looked towards religion and the priests and all of those people to tell them what was truth about the meaning of life. And so, that everything, God made it rain, God made it thunder, God, destroyed the crops or made the crops grow. Everything was God's fault or God's blessing. And so that went on for a long, long time until they suddenly realized that those people that were telling them what was and what was truth actually had feet of clay, and they started to show that they were not as good as they pretended to be. So there was a large shift in consciousness then, and that moved to, because that question of the meaning of life was still there, they decided they weren't going to take people's word for it. They would needed to have some proof, and hence the scientific world was born. So now everything had to be proved. Well, we have lived with that now, again, for eons of time. However, that again gave the power to an outside source. And so what we're going through now is to the memory that we are created as a reflection of the all that is, or the one, or the unity consciousness, or the Pleiadians like to call it first cause. And I know that for me, I just see it as this quantum field of infinite possibilities and opportunities that creates life itself and everything in it. So when you look at that, you go, okay, we've had these first parts where we've asked other people to look for the meaning of life. Well, now it's up to us. We have to find our own meaning of life, and it is within us. And that is what this spiritual evolution is all about. And he says here, we know that life is really about a spiritual unfolding that is personal and enchanting and magical. And, I found that the magic of it all, that we are, when we really learn to know ourselves and put that into everyday action, not just something that you do once or twice every now and then, or it's a quick fix for something. No, it's a lifestyle, and it's a dedication and a commitment. And so he goes on to say, an unfolding that no science or religion has yet fully clarified, and they still can't, because it's intangible. It can't be proven. It can't be held up and shown to you, but we can feel it, because now we realize that everything is energy, and we are energy vibrating at a certain frequency that is a magnet to everything that comes into our life. So, what else does it say? And we know something else as well. We know that once we do understand what is happening, how to engage this elusive process and maximize its occurrence in our lives, human society will take a quantum leap, and that's what we're in, a quantum leap, into a whole new way of life. Once that realizes the best of our tradition and creates a culture that has been the goal of history all along. So, yes, once we do realize that we have the power within us, that we are so much more than this physical being, then a whole new door opens for us. And this is where we are right now. Look, the world is in chaos, and it's meant to. For me, because I was given all the, not the exact way of how it was going to happen, but certainly what needed to occur for us to be free, to find ourselves. And to find ourselves, unfortunately, we've had to push ourselves to a state of crisis. I didn't get here because I was happy and everything was honky-dory. I got here because my life was in crisis. And I know that most people who are on this spiritual journey, we come to a stage where we have this question coming up. There has to be more to life than this. And there is. And I love life. Life is so amazing and magical and wonderful. So, yes, it is a spiritual evolution, and it's a revolution. It is revealing our true self. And when we find who we truly are, we don't need other people to tell us the meaning of life, because we will certainly know it, and we'll learn to live it. There is a lot of chaos outside, so they tell me, because I don't focus on that. My role, my soul contract is to keep focusing on the ascension and to show the way to that. I'm not unaware, of course, because I'm very aware of what needs to occur for humanity to get to a critical mass where we can all venture into the new earth of the golden age that the earth is going to. So the earth, we are all moving at such speed through the cosmos. And when you recognize that once upon a time we had no idea about anything outside of ourselves, really, because life was so difficult that took all our awareness and all our attention. But we have moved consciousness. So what does that mean? Consciousness is the fabric of what is. So I always think it's a bit like when you go to school. When you're in second grade, you cannot expect to have the wisdom of fourth grade. And in fourth grade, you cannot have the wisdom of high school. We are all going through layers of awareness, layers of consciousness. So the more we learn and the more we embrace and the more we know about ourselves, the more conscious we can become, and the more we see, the more we become aware. We are aware of so much more. So this evolution, I always bring it back to the personal thing. We are constantly bombarded with what is happening in other countries and what is happening with the politicians and the medical fraternity, which I think have lost their soul, and my apologies, but my whole life was about healing. And we can do better. That's all I can say. We can do better. And we are learning to do better. We are learning to do better because everything that was is now crumbling and showing us that once we come home to ourselves, we can do better. And so better is having to emerge. But for better to become the norm, the old paradigm needs to crumble. And that, for people who don't like change and people who haven't yet recognized there is actually something major happening, well, it's a difficult time. But all of that is irrelevant to me. What's relevant is how is this affecting us as a human being? And you know what I believe that this spiritual evolution is all about at the bottom line? It is to retrieving and reclaiming our humanness. When you look at the inside of a human, one of our greatest, beauties is our kindness, our caring, our nurturing, our sharing. That is the core of humanity, right? To be human is such an amazing experience, but we have lost so much of that. And the way that we've lost it because we've been propagandized to be afraid of each other, to be afraid of everything outside of us, to be afraid of everything inside of us. And so the biggest evolution is to overcome fear. Overcome fear by knowing who you truly are as a spiritual being, as a being that is connected to that quantum field of infinite possibilities and opportunities. And when you really know that, not have the knowledge, but know that this journey from head to heart to soul, it is so beautiful. And then everything around you changes. So, as I will do more and more of these online chats, I will certainly be talking a lot about my intentions of where I'm going now, because I've been doing this now for over 37 years. And the Council of 12 is what really is channeled through me with information. And it's coming through really, really quickly that we have to look within, look within. So if you like my work and you want to support it, there is an opportunity to donate. There is a link in the description box. There's also links in the description box if you want to connect with me, or I still do some private sessions. I also have an upcoming Bali retreat, and we've been doing those since 2012. In March 2025, I've still got 3 spots available. I tell you what, they're going fast. If you are interested, let me know. And then, of course, I also do fortnightly Ascension classes locally here. And I have one this Saturday, and if you'd like to attend, let me know. And, of course, our famous brekkies that we do here locally. And I really encourage you, wherever you are in the world, gather some people. We started with 3 people many years ago for brekkie once a week. It's such a fabulous way to start on a Monday morning. Everybody gathers, and it's new earth energy. There is total acceptance, complete love, joy. There's collaboration, there is sharing and caring and supporting, and all the things that the new earth is going to be about. Start one. It's fun. And it's supportive. It really is supportive for each other. So the journey goes on, and I'm looking forward to doing this more often. I will bring in some people. You won't just have to listen to me. There are some amazing people doing some amazing works in the world. So I apologize if you were looking for the 4th of October. I will obviously I'm live, so it's up now. So you can share it, you can watch it, you can download it. And I will really, really pay attention to the dates next time. That's my humanness. And I love me, and I love my humanness. And once upon a time, I would have been mortified and go, oh my goodness, I made a mistake. How bad is that? But you know what? I don't ever do that anymore. Because, hey, it's done. Nothing I can do about it. And here I am. And you can watch it on the 4th of October if you want to. I will again be putting another video up next week. I'm not sure if I can go live. I have something else due on the Wednesday, but I will notify you, and I'll hope to get the date right. So I really thank you for watching. Please share it, and I'll see you next time. So live your life to the best of your ability. Love yourself. Love life itself, and be grateful, grateful, grateful that we are here to observe this spiritual evolution. Oh, and by the way, please, please comment, 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 because the more comments I get, the more I feel inspired to keep doing this. I love you and thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.